Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Sean J. Harris here, Generational Wealth Academy. Happy Saturday morning to everybody. Saturday number 7. I want to come to you today and talk to you about a subject of resilience. So let's talk about what happens after a person crash and burn in the proverbial way. So many times people have different crashes in their life and they just don't seem to know how to overcome that or how to get past that struggle, and it tends to affect them the rest of their lives. So here's what successful people do. Successful people gravitate towards their strengths and they change. That's the number one thing. When you go through a crash and burn, you have to change, because we can't keep doing the thing that got us in that position to crash and burn. So successful people take and change the ways that they can maximize on their strengths while compensating for their weaknesses. So we got to be able to say, okay, here were my weaknesses. This is what led me to the crash and burn. So let's figure out a way how I can either hire or solicit help with somebody who can help me in these weak areas so that doesn't happen again. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we keep feeding and fertilizing the strengths that we have. That's what unsuccessful people don't do. They just continue doing what hasn't been working in the first place. So, I've had some crash and burns in my life. I don't really talk about them a lot because I think so many times people live and dwell in the struggle as if that's the major part of the success. I've been through the struggles. Keep it moving. That's the bottom line. But so many people still gravitate towards that. And one of the biggest things that I find that many people really crash and burn is in the area of divorce. Been through 2 of those. So many times I talk to people and they'll tell me, hey, I'm such and such, I'm a divorcee and whatever. So I asked them, well, how long ago was it that the divorce happened? Oh, it's like 15 years ago. But they're still harboring on that as if you want attention for that. So that's 15 years of time wasted that you could have got back on the proverbial horse and continued your journey. So I went through my first divorce, was back in the 90s. I was in the military, and it put me in a real bad situation. I ended up going through a bout of homelessness as a result of it, exited out of the Air Force, and pretty much had to start completely back over. But again, as I mentioned, I leaned in towards my strengths. So I came home on leave about a month prior to getting out of the military, started doing a little recon, doing my due diligence, and setting up a foundation for myself for when I was going to get out a month later. Then when I came home, I stayed at my parents' house for like a week because I was getting an apartment at the time that wouldn't be ready for about a week and a half. So from that point on, I moved out, got my apartment, and started my endeavors towards seeking my law enforcement career at that time. But I had to gravitate towards my strengths, which was to be assertive, to be domineering, to be able to use my people skills, and to be able to show and prevail in my leadership sphere of influence. So I got back on my feet, started law enforcement. Long story short, got into another marriage. Divorce. It was a result. Same thing there. Lost my home. I had bought my first home, made my first 6 figures, lost it all. Lost a company that I had started. Another company had took a big hit financially and really struggled. Found myself on the verge of bankruptcy. Woke up one morning, I was $35,000 in the negative in my account. So at that time, I had to really focus. I had to say, okay, what's not working? What are the weaknesses that's keeping me from winning in these areas of life? So once I started determining that, I got with people who could help me in those areas. And then I had another sphere of influence of people who could help me continue to build on my strengths of the things that were working. And then subsequently, many years after that, ended up getting married to Tara. And life has been great ever since, because she brought things to the table. I brought things to the table, and then we built the empire together. So I remember hearing one of my mentors, Les Brown. Les always says in his talks, it's okay to fall. Just make sure you fall on your back. Because if you fall on your back, you can look up. And if you can look up, you can get up. And I remember in 2008 or 2007, I wrote my first book. called Leaning Forward Towards Success. And that was the preface of this book, was to understand that if you fail forward. Don't fall backwards. Always fall forward, because failure is going to be inevitable. That's a part of the building blocks of success. So if you have blocks, actual cinder blocks or bricks, those are your successes. But the mortar that supports and keep those bricks together, those are your failures. So you can't have success without failure. But here's the most important thing: don't dwell on the failures. Learn from them and learn from them quickly. Kind of like pulling off a Band-Aid. I often talk about when we were little kids, you had a Band-Aid, and when it's time to take it off, you pull it off real slowly, a little bit at a time, centimeter by centimeter. We'll run it under the water to think that was making the pain less, but it didn't. But at any time we just took that Band-Aid and just ripped it off, it would hurt. You would probably remove some skin, a little bit of hair, but the pain would be over in about 3 seconds. Same way in life. See the struggle, identify the struggle, and then quickly move beyond the struggle. Because the quicker you do that, the shorter your learning curve will be. The shorter your learning curve will be, the faster you'll get to your success. So I've never been the type of person that say, hey, look, I'm going to take my time to success. I'm going to work 40, 50, 60 years doing something, and then all of a sudden live life. That's not the way to live life. Get it done early. Get it done fast and up front. Because the quicker you achieve your goal, if it's a financial goal, the quicker you get to that goal, the longer you have to enjoy the fruits of the labor. Alright guys, I'm Dr. Sean J. Harris. Make impact, make money while you're doing it.